Hey, hey, friends. Happy Bosses and Breakfast Day. I know Jennifer's always laughing. I was logged out of StreamYard and I had to get like login
Good
codes.
morning. Hey, sorry.
Same thing. Were you
Good
late?
morning, everybody. I can't hear anybody quite yet, so bear with me here as I do these
She was
headphones.
late to school
I
because
think
I'm
we know.
always late to
I think
school.
we know. I need to get it together. Good morning.
I was asking you, did you used to be late to school or were you always on time?
Well, we rode the bus, so we were always early.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And
If on
then,
your, because
yeah.
I say this because I just showed up too.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Well, because
Yeah.
I couldn't get I got a new computer and I was logged out for some reason. So,
Yeah, it gives me like a bit of anxiety to be late. It took me a long time to not be on time, I guess. Like I heard this thing a long time ago that's always stuck with me. Um which makes me feel like I need to always be on time. But when somebody is late, it's not that they don't respect their own time, it's that they don't respect your time, you
oh, well,
know?
way to tell
Because
everybody that's listening that.
yeah, because they're keeping you waiting, but I mean, then it's up to you whether or not that person is valuable to you or not, right? So it is true, I think, in a lot of ways, because sometimes people keep you waiting and they don't, they're late all the time. This is like some family members of mine. And I'm just like, I didn't have to be waiting for you. I could have been doing other things, you know?
I guess you were like 30 seconds late, maybe
Yeah.
15. So
Right.
Jennifer, maybe we
So
start like a
since
minute.
then, because that feels like a very heavy thing, I've always been like, I really need to be on time because I want to respect other people's time, So that's kind of
Jennifer's
been like,
cracking up below
yeah.
because we're always late for bosses and breakfast.
Yeah, we're always late for bosses and breakfast, but I mean, it's like very hard to get those kids off to school, which I'm respecting their time, right? Like, because I have late start on Wednesdays. So and then to get to bosses and breakfast on time. That's essentially it. We didn't plan we didn't plan this very well as far as like late start days.
Yeah.
Um
All right. So are you ready for the
yeah,
IG?
yeah. Yep.
Okay. And thank you for
I
all
at
of you
least
that are
have
here
that
waiting.
set up.
All right. I'm going to go. Do I have lipstick on my teeth because I'm wearing red today? I'm like all red. I decided
I
this is
know,
my
we're like
look.
Christmas colors right now.
Are you in green? I can barely
Uh-huh.
see you.
I
Okay.
know, right? I am in green. In kind of like a foresty green
Well,
today.
happy Christmas to all. Okay, I'm gonna go live.
Oops. Shoot. Ah.
Hey, Instagram, Bosses and Breakfast is here. We've been chatting with our Facebook friends over on Facebook. You can always watch on Facebook or you can watch us here on Instagram. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about time versus money, time scarcity, money scarcity, all the things that come up, especially for product bosses. So stick with us. Say hello as you're joining on Instagram. I see a bunch of people starting to join and say hi to us. And then my friends over on Facebook, say hello as well. Let us know where you are in the world and what you are drinking this morning. So I'll start. I'm drinking coffee with oat milk, obviously, with actually a pump of hazelnut. So there's my fancy
I'm
drink.
having a kind of like a protein shake, I guess, with espresso in it. But it's like espresso with almond milk, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
actually really
Delicious.
delicious. Yeah.
Mhm. You'd pay a good $10 for that out at a
Oh, 100
store.
for this size, this is $20 probably.
Oh, we've got friends in California where it's warm. Drinking green tea, English tea,
Oh, shoot.
Starbucks coffee.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, I'm on Instagram now. Okay. Hi, Instagram. Hey, everybody. See, my setup is a little bit different. That's kinda why it's taking a bit too, is because I had to move a chair around that I was using to, like, prop
I
this
had to
on.
pick up this chair and move it
Yeah.
here.
I had
That's
to
okay.
move it around to attach that one stand thing to,
Yeah.
because my stand thing doesn't work. That ring light thing, it just I don't know. I'm missing the extension or something. So I
Mm.
bought myself a stand thing that is not a lazy arm, that does not have to attach to the table. It's got its own hefty weight thing. Um, but it's not here yet, clearly. So,
We have never hired anyone professionally to help us
believe it or not,
in production.
we have not hired someone to do this production yet.
So
I
And
know it seems so professional.
we've had people take over Bosses and Breakfast before, and it's been complicated for them because we have to set up our phones, our iPhones, and
Yeah.
have an earbud for our iPhones. We have to set up our computers on StreamYard and have that, and we have to be able to see each other
And
and
we
all
have
the
to read the
things.
comments on both. So I
It's a
know it
lot.
seems like yeah, it is a lot.
I know it seems effortless and easy for us.
No, I know it seems like, why don't these girls get it together every single week? It's because it's like there's so much tech that happens. And when all of you that have been with us for a while, you know that Annika and Greg of Loadsome Candles and Annika of Hey Mavens, when they did it, they're like, we had no idea. We have so much respect for you two doing this week after week. And honestly, it felt really validating when they said that because I was just like, thank you. It's a lot harder than one thinks to even you have like comments in a lot of different places, you know? So
Somebody on Instagram said, "You ladies are professional enough." I
you know.
love that.
Oh, I love that.
But listen, I mean, I did a reel on this the other day about like 2 rules of business. Rule number 1, have fun. Rule number 2, listen to rule number 1. The thing is like we are all business owners. I think the majority of you are business owners here, and it's up to you to make your business the way you want it. So listen, Mina and I don't even think if we tried, they're like there's no possible way. Like we've just been pretty authentic in the way that we are. Like we laugh, we're transparent in our confusion, right? And it's
We
part
probably could
math.
prepare better, honestly, like how
I
you're
mean,
saying, you know, we were
we do
late and
talk
stuff.
for 30
We probably
minutes about
could
what we're
be
gonna talk about.
prepared.
Yeah.
We could have a yeah, you know, like we could be prepared with our stand, like I could have done that or blah blah blah, you know. But I mean, at this point, we're not there. We're just not there. You know, we're
One
dipping our
day.
toe back. Yeah. We're dipping our toe back in. It's just a lot of happenings, you know?
And I think as just touching on all this generally, we've always loved to model for you that it doesn't like I'm an extrovert, but don't think that I was always in front of people, right? Extrovert meant that I got my energy from being around other people, but not that I'm like meant to be on a stage. And then Mina identifies as an introvert and she needs alone time to recharge, right? But look at
Mhm.
her on a stage. And so the thing
Mhm.
though is that like we want to share for all of you because we all have these reasons, all these things that we think that are defining ourselves that are holding us back from whatever we would like to do in our business, but we have all these reasons why. And so if we show
Yeah.
you how to show up imperfectly and that it's okay and we could still have 150 people watching us, or we've done webinars to 1,000 people. We have our workshops kicking off next week where 10,000 people register and we email tens of thousands of people and we're authentically us and we've been growing. We have almost 2 million downloads on our podcast, and we chuckle on there and we make fun of ourselves that math is not our number one because there's only so many things our brains can hold. So I want you all to just realize this whenever you're entering into your world. We may repel people. People might be like, God, if Mina can't untangle her earbuds, I'm never coming again.
I
Or
mean,
like,
you should
look at her
leave if you
hand.
yeah, I can't this tan is not staying. Like, I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, why can't I get this
But
to
I'm
work?"
saying people might be like, I want a serious business podcast, or
Yeah.
I want a version. We all know that there's like influencers or coaches out there that are very, very
Yeah.
put together.
Oh my
Not us.
gosh.
It's cool.
Right. You know, the whole math thing, and we joked about this, and it's doing math on the fly, right? But there's
With a lot
just
of other things in our brains and tons of people
right,
commenting
right.
on the sides.
100%. But like,
Yeah.
I think that the thing is, I'm not bad at math. I just prefer not to build that skill set. I know that sounds crazy, but like my sister she has a finance major as well as a MIS major, management of information systems. She builds systems based off numbers and things like that. She's excellent. She has all these different things that she like kind of like mnemonic devices for math. And it's like, okay, if you want to know if something's 20% off, you take it times 80 and then you get the final price and you don't have to go through this whole thing. So she has like tricks, right? And so I'm I have those same skill sets. It's just I don't lean into them. So I think that for all of you, you have to pick and choose like what you want to do. Like for me, I don't have to be good at doing math on the fly. I know how to make money. I know how to build a business. You know, it's just like I can only build so many skill sets. So for me, I choose business building over math. You know, I know they go hand in hand, but I can just hire an expert. I don't even actually do the numbers for our business. Jacqueline does. And
Yeah.
for little labels, my husband does. You know why? Not my skill set, don't care, don't want to do it. I want somebody else to come back to me and tell me what the numbers are and interpret them versus me having it in my head to have to be able to do it on the fly, you know?
Jamie's taken what you've said and said, "OMG, I love that. Prefer not to build that skill set." Totally using that for laundry or cooking or
Yeah,
dealing with my family.
100%, Jamie. I'm with you.
But that is it's true though. And we're all of us kind of there's a bunch of us on our team that are going through Glennon Doyle's Get Untamed book and her Get Untamed journal, if any of you have heard about it. And one of the things that she first has you identify is kind of going through like your perception of what makes you a good friend, a good parent, a good wife, a good partner, a good whatever, right? The idea of good. And the friend one really resonated for me because I've never had a big social group of friends. I have close friends and I have my partner, my spouse, or boyfriend back in the day. And one of the things I've always felt like was like if I was a better friend, I'd have more friends. And then reading this one part of her journal, I was like, yeah, I don't want to remember birthdays of everybody. I don't have time to have like really big, like to be at all the social things and go to all the things that everyone's doing, like
That's if
I
that's
have
what a good friend means,
no, but
you
I'm
know?
saying but that's how Glennon
Yeah,
Doyle identified, like, what
yeah,
she felt about friendship because in our brains or growing up and, like, watching Friends, where
yeah,
there's 6 of them or, like, Melrose Place or wherever you're going
right.
where you're like, there's all these people, and so I think what we want you all to realize is that it could look different for everybody, like,
Mhm.
we can all be our own version of business owners, showing up online, caring about not caring about math, like, all the things, and the same thing, both Mina and I mean, Mina has her master's, I have my bachelor's degree. Like we're smart people. We had to, we know math. It's just
Yeah,
that
if I had to, I probably could beat people out in math. Do I want to? Do I care enough to do it? No. You know?
and also it's turned into a funny thing because there's two
Yeah,
people trying to work things out in their brains. But
yeah,
anyways, we
you
just
know?
want you to be okay with being you.
Yeah, like, the me joking about math, like, I want people to understand that I don't see that as my limiting capability sort of thing. I
Yeah,
just choose not to do it, you know?
right.
So, am I capable? Absolutely, just like all of us are capable. You are capable of being great at math. You are capable of being great at business. You're capable of being great at anything you choose. It's up to you what you choose, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. So prefer not to build that skill set, however you want to do it. But anyways,
Mhm.
thanks for sticking with us in the first, 15 minutes of us just going off. So side note, how many of you took our workshop series back in the fall? Pre Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge. So who was in our workshop series?
It was called, The Product Boss's Guide to Getting Holiday Ready.
Yes. So, and then that led into the Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge, which is our free 5-day challenge. So let us know. Hand raised says Heather, amazing. MN Candle Co. was in it as well. So we are bringing. It was so successful. Over 10,000 people came through. We're bringing back our workshops. They are going to be slightly different, and the third workshop is different. So please come back again, and we have the registration open today. It's theproductboss.com/best because this is the product boss's guide to your best year yet. So,
Yeah.
always, if you've been through our challenges, come back and go through them again. You were in a different place than you were 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. So sign up. It's theproductboss.com/best. We have 3 workshops over the next 3 weeks, starting next Thursday. They're on Thursdays. We will have an implementation week, which we will still be going live with you in our special pop-up group. And that when you register for the workshops, you automatically get registered into one of our best challenges ever, which is the Bestseller Secrets Challenge, where we're going to help you figure out
Mhm.
your best selling product and what to do with it, because that is where you can drive the most revenue in your business without so much effort. So come sign up for that. We're so excited for all the people that have registered so far.
Yeah, for sure. The reason why we added the workshops in front of all of our challenges is and it was, like Jacqueline said, crazy successful, is because we wanted to kinda, like, move you forward in a certain pace, right? So, what before we used to jump into the challenges, it was like, "Let's just get to work." But now, right before the holiday, we were like, "This is actually so great People are doing once a week workshop. They're understanding time and then scaling and then focus. And then we're going hard into the at that time it was Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge. And it was so much fun and everybody was ready for it. So now that we're all kind of like tiptoeing into 2022, we can kind of get our minds in the same sort of way. So it's like time again, it's scaling, and then it's focus, and then it's Bestseller Secrets Challenge, which is incredible because we start talking more about profit instead of promotions. And that's why it's Jacqueline and I, it's our favorite thing to talk about is the profit in your business. So this one, I think that it actually makes more impact on people's businesses. Like we've seen it make more impact than Rock Your Holiday Promotions. What's happening over there? There's lots of tapping.
I'm looking, trying to, Instagram is in the way of my screen and I'm trying
Oh,
to
it
find
is. Yeah, I
something.
know. I hear you. I hear you. I
Keep
realized
talking
that
while
I
I
was
move
trying to
around.
move my laptop and then I'm supposed to be moving that chair, but now I'm like behind this desk. So, if you ever taken the Colby, the whole how the machine works, we score very low on that one, you know.
We don't need to know how the machine works. We just look at the machine and say, let's do it. Um, okay, so there's a conversation we want to have today that is a little bit off of what we talked about last week with you. So
Mhm,
last week we asked all of you, who has a fear of success? And we talked through it, and a lot of you raised your hand and said, "I have a fear of success," which is totally okay. And when you were watching live, you saw right then and there that you were not alone in that feeling of a fear of success, right?
mhm.
So, so what we realized, and so many of you gave us feedback, and let me know in the comments if this resonates for you. I'm trying to find that text I sent you, which I'm realizing I could just go to my text messages and find it. Okay. So what we're realizing, and you could tell us if this resonates, is that a lot of you were afraid of success because you think that if you are successful, the time that you're going to have to take to spend on building this business will take time away from the priorities in your life, like being with your family, being with your friends, having time for self-care, just time as a whole is the fear. You have a fear of loss of time if there is success in your business. Does that feel aligned with you as you're listening, or maybe not? Did I get it?
Yeah, yeah, you did great. It's like sometimes we think, if we are successful, we'll be so spread so thin, we won't have any time to do anything that matters to us, right? Okay, getting a lot of yeps, yeses, you know, when will I find the time if I'm a successful? It's that feeling of not being able to do it all if you're to add more to your plate.
Right, because I know yesterday even we were talking to a lot of our students and they were saying that they are feeling quite overwhelmed right now. Yeah, so Cakes in a Cup said my fear is will I be able to keep up? Does that feel like it resonates? That if you are successful, if you hit a certain amount of revenue in your business, it could be anything. It could be you working to 50,000, 100,000, half a million, a million. It could be any number because most of us feel this way. Mina and I, as we're climbing multi-million on the way to 8 figures, which is a crazy goal that we never ever in our lives ever thought we would ever say out loud. But when we say it, her and I have a lot of conversations about time and
Mhm.
okay, can we grow this business to where we want it to go? Revenue, impact for all of you, team that will build and be able to employ people, but also have the time and also the time of our team. Will they be able to have time and lives that they want? Right. And so that's something for all of us that it's like no matter what level you're at in revenue, time is the thing that is most scarce.
Yeah, time is scarce because people think about time and money, and it's two of their biggest fears, right? Fear of success with money, fear of wasting time. But the thing is, even the way that society talks about it, right? We're spending time, we're spending money. We're saving time, we're saving money, right? And so the thing that people misinterpret though is that time is actually the priceless thing and money is actually infinite. So time you can never get back and money is infinite so you can make more of it all the time if you need to.
And when you're hearing us say that, it might feel like you're hearing us say, okay, wait, but I still won't have enough time. So it doesn't matter how much money I make, I'm not going to have time. But what we've really tried to press forward for all of you is that money affords opportunities and options. So when you start to generate more revenue, you are able to pay yourself more, right? Paying yourself more may be that you can afford someone to help clean your house. You may be able to afford someone to help pick up your kids from school, right? This is like the personal side. You may be able to outsource some of the home stuff that takes up a lot of your time because you might be still trying to build your business. The other side of opportunity and options when you make more money is that you can employ people or you can outsource tasks at work. You can get a bookkeeper so you do not need to do your own book. So when you're like, I don't know about numbers, that might be a very easy thing to outsource for a few $100s a month, but at least you're getting someone else to do it that's a professional. It might be that instead of you pulling together all your own graphics, you hire either like someone on Fiverr or you hire someone to handle your social media. Think about the time you can buy back because time is not replenishable. So you need to buy back your time.
Yeah. Because even when Jacqueline and I are growing our business and all of you are growing your business, if you spent your time, you spent your time. You're not going to get it back. But if you spent your money, you can get more money to buy back your time, right? And so even as you're growing, the more money you make, the more options you have. That is a tale as old as time. I will tell you that. Because there's some people that are further along than others because of generational wealth. They've had more options because they have had more money. They've had more opportunities. They're just set up in a different way where they're like, afforded an opportunity. We hear that all the time too, right? So the thing is that you need to make more money, but you need to also understand that the thing that you're buying is not the success, it's the time. You're
Yeah.
buying the time, the version of that success.
So I'm going to read this. I don't know if it's a true quote from the Buddha. I think it might be. It's really impactful to me. So I'm just going to read it to you. So the Buddha, when asked, what's the biggest mistake we make in life? The Buddha replied, the biggest mistake is you think you have time. Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. And once it's lost, you could never get it back. So, how does that feel hearing that? Because again, if we go back to the crux of why so many of us are fearful of being successful, it's because I think innately we know time is limited and it's not infinite. So my question to all of you is, well, we can sit here worrying about time, worrying that success is going to take time away from us, that we're going to like when you think about taking, you're like, this is going to take from me. This is going to take from me. When you're thinking all the things in your life that are the way, like you've started a business and you want to grow it, but then you're thinking my business is going to take, that's not necessarily the right way to think about it. You will spend time in the very beginning, and dancing studio said hearing that's the reason for my stress. So let's just talk about this. Right now, when you're building businesses, when you're on your way up, there will be time spent. That is, we're not going
Yeah.
to fluff it. You're going to spend a lot of time, but it's not going to look like this forever. But what you have to think about as business owners, as people, we're listening to the Buddha and thinking we have all this time. A lot of you also think in this way: I'm going to do this on my own. It's going to take time, but I'll get there eventually. So how
Mhm.
long are you going to spend on this this treadmill or this like stationary bicycle, putting in all of this effort that's taking in so much time, that's going to take you years and years to do this on your own and figure it out on your own, when truly you're actually wasting time versus thinking, if I have money, right? Or I have a way to invest in myself. If I spend, because you're all spending time right now with us, but you're learning. Now, let's talk about financially. You may think, okay, my business doesn't make enough money to invest in myself yet. My business doesn't make enough money to invest in a course. My business doesn't make enough money to hire someone with fulfillment. But if your time is limited, you're either going to just take more years up trying to get there, or you're going to work on trying to fast track this earlier and faster, knowing that you can make as much money as you need to make to pay for the things that you need and buy back your time sooner. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
So in that case, you're either saving up for it or you're investing in it with an idea of getting a return on your investment, right? So at that time, people are like, okay, I know that I have limited time. I want to shortcut this for me. And I don't want to spend my own time to save up and earn that money in order to do it. So I'm going to invest and, you know, pull into my savings or something, knowing that I'll get a return on investment. That's an idea of that, right? The slowest way is the free options. Google University, YouTube University, all those, where it's like you're Googling because it's an overabundance of information. You're overwhelmed with information instead of succinct information. Because usually in courses and things like that, that you're really investing, that you're putting mind into your mind and money into, it's allowing you to cut as much is it's allowing to you to keep. So it's really important that you cut out information as well, because you're cutting out, you're getting focus in that point. A lot of times the point of overwhelm is that people are like, I need to do all these things, but they're like tethers to you. So what if you were to cut the things that you didn't really need to do? You know, then you could move forward with more of a focus, taking less time and not like having to learn from your mistakes. You learn from the course, you learn from other people's mistakes. It just makes it easier on you to be able to move forward in a pace that you're like, okay, this is where I'm going. I'm kind of pivoting along the way, but you have the right direction.
Yeah. Gianna says, yes, don't be me 15 years later with like a blushing and cry face. Now, that's my question to all of you. How many of you have felt like you're on a stationary bike? And for how many years do you feel like you're on a stationary bike? So, how long have you been doing what you're doing without growth, without opportunity, without making more money to pay yourself to get the things that you want in your life, right? To buy yourself options and opportunities. How many years have you been doing what you're doing without being able to hire someone to help you do production or fulfill? Okay, so on Facebook we have 3, yes, like the last 2 years, 2 years and ready to change. Way too long, but I'm finally getting there. Way too long. Instagram, let me know from you all too. So 2 years, 3 years.
We
We
all feel
can't
that
get
way too, by the way, as you can see.
yeah, we 10 years over here on Instagram. We cannot get your 3 years back. We cannot get your 2 years, your 10 years, your 7 years. So if you have felt stuck and we're still at the beginning of this year, then when are you willing to change? Are you willing to grow? Are you willing to do something different? Or are you going to stay stuck and keep making the same excuses? Because we get so scared of money. You get scared of either spending it or making it. You're scared of spending it or you're scared of making it. But our biggest fear, all of us as human beings, is time, that we don't have enough time, that we don't have time to live the life we imagine, that we don't have time to be with the people we love. So it will take time to build your business. It will take time to hit a revenue level that you want to hit. And you will put in that time and you will put in that effort the same way that if you went to college or you got through high school, right? And the things that you did to get there. But you can then find more freedom when you're allowed to let yourself make money and know that when
Mhm.
you get there, you'll know what to do when you're making that money, that you will be able, because you listen to us, you'll be able to buy back your time.
Yeah. And I think that that's when you start getting fearful of the idea of success. Know that when you have money, when you're making more money, you have more options to buy back your time. It's just a simple fact of life. So while, the richest of rich people, they have all the options, they have all the opportunities. You know why? Because they can just hire somebody to do it. So know
Like
that
every
it's,
Kardashian has a
yeah,
nanny per child. Okay.
that would be the dream,
How do
but
I know this?
kinda.
Because I interviewed I interviewed back in the day. Let's tell you a quick LA story, okay? Because I've got fun LA stories. I had this. My husband's an actor, and his manager was like, "Oh, Lucy Liu's nanny no longer has a job because Lucy Liu's kid was older, and we were looking for a nanny, so we'll send her over." We're like, "Okay, Lucy Liu's nanny." So this lady comes over. We're interviewing her
Mhm.
in our like small house in our backyard with like our whatever, right? And then she's like, yeah, I have an interview tomorrow with Kourtney Kardashian to be one of her children's nannies. It's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, she has a nanny per child. And I was like, okay. So I was like, you're going to be at my little tiny house over here. And then tomorrow you're going to go interview at Kourtney Kardashian's house and like, be able to fly in private jets. So I don't know what you're going to choose, lady, but obviously not us. So and I say that because we've also quoted, I don't know if you've heard that quote, like, we all have the same hours on the day as Beyonce. Sure, 100%. But do you know what Beyonce has? Oodles and oodles of money to pay people. She can sit here watching us while someone's doing her hair, her makeup, and her nails at the same time. And other people are helping her with her kids, and someone else is making her food.
But also, her mom was her manager who used to sew their clothes. She
Yes,
put in the hustle. So don't
100%.
forget about that they were just rich. There were years and years that she worked her way up there and really leaned into her superpowers, her talents, right? So she did the things that she needed to do and she didn't do the things that she didn't need to do and she really worked hard. It wasn't like she was an overnight success either. So now she gets to her version of, she was never scared of success, right? Because she knew that when she had a lot of money, she would get to live this life with multiple nannies and people doing her hair and people doing her clothes if she wanted, not her mom sewing it, right? But it's a beautiful story. So it's just like thinking about that for yourself, like don't be scared of success. Know that people attach that word freedom. In my mind, I'm like, I have no idea what that even means. But it's really, really easy for me to wrap my mind around if I'm successful, I can buy back my time. And what does that look like? Because time is priceless.
And when you buy back your time, what would you like to buy back? Because some of
Yeah.
us like to do different things. So then imagine, okay, I've got money. It's not Beyonce money. It's just more money than we have
Not yet.
today on. Yeah, because you and me are going to beat up Jay-Z and
Well, yeah,
Beyonce.
Jay-Z and Beyonce. I mean, I don't know.
But I have a Jay-Z story right after this one. Okay, so real quick, but so that's the idea. Each of you, I'm looking at you through the virtual screen, get to choose what you want to do with your money. So some of you might like being in the bakery making cookies all day. And right now that feels okay to you, but you may not want to be the person in the front at the cash register. So when you make more money, you stay and do the thing you want to do and you hire the person to be at the cash register. You may decide that you never want to cook a meal again. So you make enough money to order like Blue Apron, right? Or like,
I mean, a
you have to
private
cook that.
chef.
Well, that's going like crazy. That's
I
again
know.
Beyonce love. But let's say like
Blue
food
Apron, you have to
delivery.
cook that food
Okay.
still.
Food
Okay, how
delivery.
about this? You make enough
Thank you.
money to retire your husband. He's in charge of the food. He either orders it or
You
does
and me,
Blue
friend.
Apron.
You and me. That's what we're
Yeah,
doing right now because
right?
we no longer make our food in our house because our
Mhm.
husbands are now switching a little bit into support mode for us as
Yeah.
our businesses are growing because it's requiring more of us. Now, does that mean next year our husbands will still be feeding us? Like they literally like bring us food like to our
Mhm.
tables. Will they be doing that next year? Maybe not. Maybe next year, Mina and I will have enough money to hire somebody to make us food. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there because if it's not a priority for them and it's not a priority for us, I know it sounds bonkers, but we never, 3 years ago, when we started the Product Boss, did we? I mean, this was a side hustle. Let's just do a podcast talking to the infinite abyss and maybe make a little bit of extra money to go see each other. That was
Mhm.
literally the goal of this business. Now, the
Yeah.
goal of this business is like, hey, you want to hire someone to make all of our meals? I mean, that is like never in my
Well,
life.
if that's their expertise, like why not?
I know, but it's like, and I know sometimes I tell me, I
Then
was like, we have to like,
that's somebody else's dream life that they get to cook food for me, you
and you know who
know?
does this? This is someone that a lot of you may follow, Rachel Rogers. Rachel Rogers, when she hit it big, when she moved to a ranch, she hired ranch hands. And one of the things that her and her husband didn't want to do was cook. And so they hired a chef. And you look at
Mhm.
that and people are like, ooh, that feels real fancy. But we all need to eat. And that was a place that they decided to spend their money.
Yeah.
So
She talks
SOS.
about it like, because, like, a lot of us are like, "I'll just have my husband do it," right? That's kinda what my go-to used to be too. "I'll just have my
Yeah.
husband do
We're
it."
outsourcing to our husbands.
I don't wanna do the dishes. Why does that role fall on me? You need to help too. But guess what? He doesn't wanna do it either.
This is the breakup. I want you
Yeah.
to want to do the dishes. Who wants to do the
Yeah,
dishes?
nobody wants to do the dishes. So then you hire it out. So her frame of thinking was that, why should he have to do it? This is what I have to remember when I'm like, I don't want to scoop the drive. I'll just have my husband do it. Well, he doesn't want to do it either, you know? So I'll just hire somebody. I'll make enough money to hire somebody, because that way I don't have to worry about him having to do it. I don't have to worry about me having to do it, and we've kind of figured that out. There's things that he loves to do too. So it's kind of like I'm not using him as a catch-all anymore like I used to.
Which, as partnerships in the home, that's what you try and do, right? Like, you try and
Yeah.
pass it back. So Heather says, I want to hire someone to do grocery shopping and meal prep. Okay. So
Yeah.
she wants to make enough money in her business, potentially, right? Because that's her, or at work or whatever. But in your business, it's infinite. I want you to start thinking about your business, how it looks today, or how it'll look a year or 3 years from now, or another business you start. You could make an infinite amount of money, more money than you could even possibly imagine with your own business versus when you work for someone.
And
When you
what are you
work for
going to do
someone,
with it? You're going to buy back your time to do what you want.
yeah. So, for example, Heather wants to hire someone for grocery shopping and meal prep. Let me tell you a little thing. For $99 a year, I don't know if they raised the price, you can hire Instacart to do your grocery shopping, right? So then it's not a person every day, but you could hire Instacart. And
And you
then
can have a reoccurring list.
and your meal prep, which Mina's done, which her mother or mother-in-law yelled at her once and was like, why don't you cut your own onions? You can buy chopped onions and chopped carrots and
Yeah,
chopped
which, by the way,
anything.
since my parents have moved here, remember I used to buy cut mangoes,
That's right.
pomegranates that were already, out of the shell, Asian pears that were already, like I'd buy Asian pears and they would cut it for me, sort of thing. So now I haven't had to do that because now they do it for me. But they still joke about that. They still are like, yeah, well, remember when Mina used to buy diced onions and like, it bothered them so much that now they're willing to do it for me. I'm like, sure,
They
that's
cut
fine
they
by
cut
me.
them for
They
you.
buy it and cut it for me.
So you're actually saving money
I
and
really
outsource.
am. I really am. And they enjoy it. So I'm just like, well, this works out nicely,
But that's an example, right? And
Yeah, we all are wired differently.
someone else said, "I'd love to fold. I'd love someone to do my laundry or fold my laundry." And I know I've talked about this, but I'll just bring it up again because when I lived in New York City, you could literally have coffee and eggs delivered to your house. You can have cookies delivered to your house at 3 a.m. And people who lived in those buildings sent out their laundry. So then when we moved to New Jersey, the fight of our lives was who's doing the
Yeah.
laundry.
No, no, no. You should have seen her basement. So she's like, I know James will have to do the laundry.
Because
So
I'm not
what
doing the
happened?
laundry because
Yeah,
I'm doing
so it
bosses and
was like,
breakfast.
she was like, I know James will do the laundry. He'll be great at he's home now. Laundry everywhere.
I think
Like,
I did
he
a story
clearly
one
was
day on
not
it.
the expert on laundry either, you know?
Drives me bonkers. Okay. So this is what we did. Cause he's like, I don't want to do the laundry. You don't want to do the laundry. Who's going to do the laundry? Could we afford it back then? Was it something that was like, oh, we have so much money that like we can pay someone to do our laundry? Not necessarily, but for our own mental well being and for our relationship and for us to be able to be with the people who mattered. Because remember, you could buy back your time for $40. I think we did it every
A
week.
pound, right?
No, $40 a week because it worked out to however much a pound. So let's say it was $40 a week on average. We would take all of those piles of laundry, put it in bags, put it out of our front door, schedule laundry pickup. They would drop it back off 24 hours later, folded better than you've ever seen anything folded in your life. So flat, so perfect. For $40 was cheaper than a marriage counselor, right? Like so, and like Lisa says, laundry's their favorite. Great.
Oh my
You do
goodness.
laundry.
I need you in my house, Lisa.
No, I like laundry when I have nothing else to do or like I'm watching a show or something. But people, you know what it is? It's because it takes time. You have to sit there and you have to wait for it. And it's not like an easy peasy, like go and do whatever. So I say that because even right now, you all have limiting beliefs of what you can afford or can't afford. And you feel like it could be frivolous to send out your laundry or buy pre-cut vegetables, but that's just your first step in saying, I am a business owner and I do not need to chop the onions because if I'm not going to cook because I have to chop the onions, but if the onions were chopped, would it be easier for me to just take them and cook something? It saves you time. And remember what the Buddha said, supposedly, if this is a true quote, that our biggest mistake is thinking that we have more time. So what are
Mhm.
you going to do? Okay, so let's talk about business. Let's switch it from home to business.
Okay.
So business, because a lot of people
S
said 3
Right.
years, 2 years, they're stuck, they're doing the same thing, they
So,
don't feel
yes,
growth.
this month for our masterminders has been Million Dollar Boot Camp. We did Visioning Day last week, and this week we did Next 90. And so we kind of, big picture it, and then we do the Next 90, which at the end of it, I was like, make sure you align it with your big vision. Because remember, yesterday was Next 90. And I was like, my wish and hope for you all is that you get to work here, your zone of genius, because you get to do whatever you want, right? Because when you get to work there and you're successful and you're making money and you're working in your zone of genius, it's like the opposite of burnout. It makes you have a vibrant life. So that's my wish for everybody, is that they get to work in their zone of genius, because there's some people that love laundry and there's some people that don't. There's some people that love fulfilling their own packages, believe it or not. There's some people that don't. There's some people that like um I don't know, like making the actual candles and will never not make them, but they don't like the other things. Or there's some people that like putting on the labels and some people that don't. There's some people that only want to do the design and the research and development and leave the rest and take it away, right? So
Jamie
getting
said, "I prefer not to build that skill set." I don't know what,
That's
but
right.
good choice.
That's right. So you figure out what is your zone of genius, and the way that Jacqueline and I teach it is that it is a mix of your strengths as well as your values. So, because you won't have motivation all the time. You'll only stay consistent with something if it's valuable to you, like it's one of your values to your core, and if it's a strength. That's when you start to really love it. It's like your zone of genius.
So I have a
And
question
yeah,
for everybody. What is your zone of genius? If we were to say we could take all the things off your plate in your business that you don't want to do anymore, but the things that you really want to do, the thing that lights you up in your business, would you mind sharing in the comments what that would be? So what
yeah.
are the things that you love? And it could be different. A year from now can change. A year ago, we were all different than we are today. So this is for today. If we were to say, okay, we will remove all the things you don't like and only keep the things that you do like, let us know in the comments what that would be. Okay.
So, when we're thinking about strengths and values, because I know it's hard. Sometimes people don't know what their strengths are. So, the strengths are what you're good at, what you've naturally always been good at. Values are, and I heard somebody say it this way. He's the author of Indistractable. Values are the attributes of the person you want to become. So, kind of putting this into what we were talking about today, what are the value if values are the skill sets you want to develop of the person you want to become, right? Of the person you want to become. And that goes together for your zone of genius, and it's really helpful when you think of that way, because it's hard to know sometimes what your strengths are, what your values are, but if they're attributes or skill sets of the person you want to become, that's when you start to understand like what you're pulled towards, what, you're passionate about, what you could stay motivated enough, because you're not going to stay motivated all the time. You're going to stay consistent with. Like for me, I really like we've stayed consistent with the podcast because we love it. We value it, the attributes of someone getting to use their voice to tell their story, that sort of thing.
So my creatives are in the house, right? Because I'm a creative, I'm a designer, I'm an artist by like in my heart and soul. I've been this since I was little. And so a lot of people are saying they love the designing, they love the creating. So like not necessarily the making, it's the designing and creation. It's the visioning for your business. The visioning is you are the special person in your business that is the person that says, this is where I vision this company going. Okay, I'm really inspired by this scent or this color or this bead, and I see this turning into a necklace or a collection or like that's the fun thing. That's the stuff that gives you the goosebumps and you're like, yes. That's why you have a creative business. That is
That's why you're an entrepreneur, you
yeah,
know?
you are the creative. That is actually and good for a lot of you. That is where you should sit. That's where and as a fashion designer, um Marc Jacobs is not designing. He's no longer designing anything in the brand unless maybe someone comes in for a custom gown or something like that. He is an entire like even Marc Jacobs, the namesake, can be replaced by designers and creative directors in his vision, and then he oversees, but he's not sitting there sketching them out and picking all the fabrics, but he oversees. So I mean,
Mhm.
this is like where you could have creatives that are really highly successful are not even doing the designs anymore, but they have the final say potentially, right? So I love that you're all getting there because that's right. Like most of you are creatives, and some people said, I love the selling, not the marketing. I love the marketing, not the selling. You know, some people
Mhm.
like the making. So
I
it's
think,
really important.
identifying with being creative, we're all creators. It just depends on what you're building in your life. So, being a creative is just simply being able to problem solve in some sort of way. So, for
Mhm.
example, if you're a creative, it doesn't mean like Marc Jacobs, using that example, he's not going to be like, if he identified with, I'm the creative, I'm the one who visions every single design, I think that that would have stopped him more than allowing for like this big creative vision and allowing for other people to bring in their design aspects. And he sees the much, much bigger picture, the visionary of the business, because he also is an entrepreneur, but not the creative, like, I must be the one that designs everything. Okay. So I know we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I want you to start thinking bigger and bigger and bigger, because there's a reason why all of you are entrepreneurs too, right? Because if you're just creatives in the way that you're thinking, you could also be a hobbyist, right? But you need to be building a business to be making money, which is the entrepreneur side of you, you know? And I think that every entrepreneur has something they're building. Some people, maybe identify as less creative, but they're equally as creative. I mean, Albert Einstein was a very creative person, you know? And he was a genius literally at physics and mathematics, you know? Whereas it's just, I think we all have to like kind of lift up that idea of, I'm holding so tightly to this idea of being a creative, and understand that you're a visionary for your entire business. You're an entrepreneur that is going to build the life and the values and the strengths that you have, the way that you see it, the way that you've created it, the way that you love it. And like Jacqueline said, not the way that we interpreted it all of our lives. Like the whole Get Untamed journal that we're going through with Glennon is that we learn things about what society perceives and what we perceive for ourselves, of what a good friend is, a good mother, what a good entrepreneur is, what a good creative is, what a good wife, a good husband, a good partner. But we learned it and it gets ingrained to us. But what is it that we really want? You know? So, I don't know. I just wanna play around with that idea for you a little bit too.
So while we talk big, 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 this is still
Mhm.
years out. You know, this
Yeah.
isn't like you're going to replace yourself as the maker. You're not going to replace yourself as the bookkeeper just yet. You may not replace yourself from being the fulfillment center for your entire business. But
Mhm.
I want you to hold on to, because if time is scarce, if time is your biggest fear, I want you all to say money is infinite. I can make as much money as I need. And know that, like, this is coming from someone who deals with scarcity, but the brilliant, beautiful thing about Mina and I think it goes back to us being first generation Americans and our families basically having to start from zero, is that we saw people start from zero and build lives from
Mhm.
literally nothing. We did not have anything established in the States when our families came here. So they built from nothing. And so we know that we can build from nothing. We know that we can make money, and so while I have scarcity of running out, right? I mean, it definitely comes from more abundance, and I've worked on my scarcity, but I'm just going to always be transparent about that so you know that you're not alone in how you may feel. The other idea and the juxtaposition, at least for me, is money is infinite. I can make as much as I possibly want to make. I just have to work for it. But also, could I run out? But I can still make it. So I want you all to realize that you can make money. It's infinite when you're an entrepreneur. I want to talk about one of our students and multi-stream machine because I know we talked about, Marc Jacobs, but let's just talk about Suzanne of Three Best Bakery, okay?
Okay.
Student and multi-stream machine. She put, I thought it was the making that she wanted to do, but it's actually the designing. And that's a big step. Why? Because she made, was it 1,000, 2,000 cookies at the holiday time? Like she
In a
was physically,
month or something.
it was something bonkers, but
It was
she,
imagining like a pile of that many cookies. I just can't even.
And
Like, it's
and
just
speaking of
crazy.
2 people, she's like, "Hi, 2 people who don't wanna cook. I don't wanna cook because I don't wanna clean, let alone" and I do like decorating,
I
but the
know.
cleaning is, like, the thing, right?
The only part I like about cooking is the eating, and I used to really enjoy cooking. It's just that I don't
No, Mina,
know.
this is what Suzanne said. Okay, student multi 2,000 cookies over 4 days for
Oh
Christmas,
my
not a
god,
month. What are you giving her all the time in the world?
that's like 29 extra days.
Again,
That's
not very good at
crazy.
math because 29 plus 4 does not equal a month.
No, 4 days? I thought you said 2 days. 2 days?
4 days.
Oh, 4
Then
days,
you were right
okay.
on math.
Well, you get the idea. Let's round
Everyone
down.
gets the idea. Okay, so here is where she says never again. This is where Suzanne started, okay? When we met her last year at Bestseller Secrets, actually, it was exactly a year ago. We met her, and she is a bakery in
No,
Arkansas.
was it exactly a year ago? Well, that just goes to show you how fast time is.
Again, we're going
It's
kind of
crazy.
back to numbers. So Suzanne
Yeah.
confirmed, but I believe it was Bestseller Secrets Challenge beginning of 2021. We had her on because basically she has a bakery. She also sells. Yes, 1 year. This is the crazy thing. Okay, so please update us on the numbers in the comments. So 1 year ago, we meet her during our free challenge, during Bestseller Secrets challenge, and she feels stuck. She has a bakery. She's making it all herself. She's selling her cookies for $1 a piece. She's selling them online for $1. She's working her booty off in a bakery, making and cooking. And remember, these are not candles you could put on the shelf. This is not jewelry you could put on the shelf. These are cookies that will go bad and need to get thrown
Mhm,
away. Yes, this is the girl with the smash cookies. Okay.
mhm.
And we had her on. And in that call, we talked to her, and this is what we teach in Multi Stream Machine. One, it was a mindset thing. She had to believe that she was worth more than $1 a cookie, that she was stuck in a mindset that in Arkansas at her bakery, she was like, she's
She was
comparing.
stuck in the Walmart competitor because being in Arkansas, she was like, "Yeah, but I'm the other place that people buy cookies from is Walmart." But she's not competing with Walmart. So that was kind of the mindset thing too.
And by the way, Suzanne's like the celebrity on the Product Boss this week because she's on the Monday episode as
Yeah.
well. So you can
Uh-huh.
listen to her story there. So she's thinking that, and it was a mindset shift. And right there, live on the call, we were talking to her about raising her prices. A bunch of you jumped on and actually ordered
Before
cookies
she
from her.
raised them.
I was like, get on there and order your
So
smash
smart.
cookies. She was crying from all of the support of the product bosses and like for all of you buying from her. And then we said, you better buy because she's about to raise her prices. And she raised her prices. And then she actually raised her prices again. At one point, she found where the market cap hit. And so she kind of lowered her prices back again. But no matter what, she's selling them for 2.5 times what she originally sold them for, and even more for her more decorated cookies. She where are you at in your business? Doubled, tripled? Like she's in a
More like 20x.
20%.
Throwing out numbers now. 1,000,000 x her business.
Gonna cry. 20x.
No, I'm serious. She had like if that was only a year ago, which it goes to show you one of the quotes, the best quotes in that article that Jacqueline was talking about, or that quote from Buddha. It was this article that was talking about how time is actually really fast when you're having fun and you're living and doing all the things you want to do. It gets slow when you're not, you know?
So, Suzanne, where were you in 2020? And then you joined in January or February. You joined Multi-Stream Machine right in the very beginning. So just quickly, and I'll let everyone on Facebook know because I know you've put it in the comments.
Mhm.
So where were you in 2020 bakery wise? Because I think the year before, I think 2019, she had made like $3,000 as a baker and opened up her brick and mortar. And then in 2020, opened up the brick and mortar, cut to, I mean, COVID, but sold online and people were
It
finding
hit
her and
100,000, I believe. Over
in 2020.
100,000. Yeah, in 2020 because she
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it in 10 months.
Yeah, so New Year's
I'm
Eve
going off of
20
memory literally here.
Yeah, so 20x, not exactly correct, but let's just go here. Okay, so New Year's Eve of 2020, she hit $100,000. Okay, she came to the Bestseller Secrets Challenge. She realized her best sellers were her smash cookies, which people on the internet right now are like, "Oh, is this the smash cookie girl?" Yes, because she's known for her best sellers. Okay, so let's just put that out there that she's worked that out. Okay, now, my friends, let me tell you, 12 months later, 12 months later, and by the way, she's on vacation right now, still joining us on Bosses and Breakfast. So thank you for doing this because it's
Nice.
also California time. But so in 2021, so 2020, 100,000. In 2021, a year later, after joining Multi Stream Machine, she hit $175,000.
Oh my gosh. So proud of you.
Right? A
And
round of
she's on
applause.
vacation.
So currently on
And
vacation
she's
from
a
her
TikTok
bakery,
star. Somebody
and
said,
she's
"Go,
become a
Suzanne." She's also a TikTok star. That's so awesome. I can't see who said that.
But this is what she said too, because when we think about the fear of success, if Suzanne a year ago had a fear of success, if she thought, I'm making all these cookies, and I know she just made 2,000 cookies in 4 days,
Yeah.
and that's a whole other thing we're gonna,
She said
she's
never
working on.
again,
Yeah.
and it
But
was the
let's
holiday season.
and
So
she
she
didn't make
will
a hundred
never
and
again.
yeah, those 2,000 cookies were not 175,000. It was like probably like 8 grand worth of cookies. So again, this is just a small part of her making 175,000 after being a student in MSM. But she says, I now have 4 part-time employees and 1 full-time, and I'm on salary now. And she's on vacation in California. So
Mhm.
so if you're
Where
all
she has all the time to even listen to Bosses and
She's
Breakfast.
hanging out with us
That's
still, right?
amazing.
Not baking cookies, not decorating
Uh-huh.
cookies, not doing cakes, and not in her bakery. And also another thing is she's getting a bigger space. She's actually doubling the space and moving her bakery. So I want you all to hear this, because if Suzanne last year didn't believe in herself and said, because she's the baker, she's the artist, it's her artistry on these cakes and it's her artistry on the cookies. If she last year said, there's no way, one, no way people will pay more for the cookies, which they did. Two, no way anyone in my small town in Arkansas can replicate my way of cookies. So I'm not going to hire. She wouldn't have gone from 100K doing all of it herself to $175,000 last year, hiring 4 people to help her and on vacation. She said, literally going to stare at the ocean until Friday.
That sounds amazing.
Anyone else want to be staring at the ocean while people are
Like,
helping you
record
make?
it so I can be there with you.
Because by the way, she has a team that's helping her make hundreds of thousands of dollars without Suzanne needing to make the hundreds of thousands of dollars with her own 2 hands. That is
Yeah.
what buying back your time looks like. That is what success looks like. So what do you need to do to have that? What do you need to do? And she said the bakery's still open. The actual physical brick and mortar is still open. So
And
what
I
do you
will
need to
tell
do?
you, so Suzanne did something significant too that I do not want you all to overlook. She invested in herself because there's plenty of people that put in the hustle that burn themselves out because they do try to do it with their own 2 hands, and they burn themselves out because they haven't shortcutted the time for themselves or the skill sets that they need in order to scale or become in their zone of genius or those things, right? Not only did she invest in herself by going into the mastermind, but she also invested in multi-stream machine,
She
right?
first invested in a multi-stream machine,
Yeah.
started
Mhm.
making more money, started generating revenue, realized investing in herself and in her education and shortcutting how many years she was doing cookies in a bakery by herself. She shortcutted it, started making money, and realized, oh my goodness, I resonate with these coaches. I resonate with the way that they teach. And then she took it another level and pays the price of the course. She pays that monthly, but she's at a beach. Her bakery is open. Cookies are being
Mhm.
made. Cakes are being delivered. And she's made $175,000. And this year, Suzanne, where are we going? How much are we making? 300? 400? Where are we going with this? And I'll bet all of you it's not Suzanne making thousands and thousands of cookies to get her there,
Yeah.
right?
And so then when you think about like, okay, she made that money and even down the line she'll be making more money. Just think of the things she could do with her time, Not scary at all. Fear of
Three,
success is just how you interpret it.
she said 350,000 is my goal for 2022. 2020,
Amazing.
she made 100,000. 2021, After being a student in multi-stream machine, she made $175,000. Becoming a masterminder, which was the next level up, which is our highest way of working with us, but you do have to be revenue qualified. She has a goal of $350,000, and her new space is 3 times the square foot to help support her growth. And that is mindset, and that's the support she's getting working with us as her coaches and working with a group of product bosses that understand that they can all reach these bigger levels. So this is what we want you to do. These are your jobs, my friends. We need to start changing the mindset of time being our biggest fear of success, because it's going to take time, and realize ultimately success is going to buy back your time. Success is going to buy you the life you dream of. Success is going to allow you to be on a beach with people working for you,
Staring at the ocean.
staring at the ocean for all of us in the frosty, frosty world right now. And making money to afford that vacation, and making money to hire people, right? This is all the stuff. And so if you, and her, it's Three Best Bakery. She was on the episode on Monday. So please go listen, support her. By the way, Suzanne, as you're listening, someone said it makes, they want to cry for how amazing you are. So just so you
No,
have
she
that
said
as
she
well.
is crying. She said,
Is
"Is
it
it
weird that
weird
I'm
that I'm
crying?
crying of happiness for her?" No, not weird at all. There's so many times that I'm just so in awe of our product bosses that I'm just like, they did it. They did it, you know? So not weird at all. It's like a usual thing over here, I feel like.
Because you know what she's going through. You know the struggle. You all
Yeah.
know whatever you sell, you know it feels hard right now, and you know that it could feel different. But a lot of times, and this is a thing, um, what did I say? The 9 out of 10
Oh, yeah. This is brace yourselves for this stat. 9 out of 10 people would rather go ahead,
die than
die.
change.
So 9 out of 10 people would rather die than change. I mean, people obviously don't like to change. But here is the thing, entrepreneurs need to change. You know, like they understand that you have to change in order to grow. They understand challenging themselves. The thing with change is that not everybody is of that mindset, which is why there's people in your life that are probably like, I can't believe you're starting a business, or I can't believe you're, doing this, or, are you going to find a real job, or whatever it is. That's the hard part, because not everybody loves change. I mean, obviously 9 out of 10 people
And
don't.
I heard this stat from someone else. So, it's not like a recognized, I have no idea. So it could be wrong, but let's just go with the 9 out of 10 people would rather die than change. But are you the one? Because the one person out of those 10 people, you're the one that's going to change your life. You're going to change how people perceive you. You're generationally going to change things. You're going to prove to other people that it's possible, because everyone else that's telling you it's not possible, or why would you come out with another XYZ business or whatever, they are the 9, or they are not the entrepreneurs. They are not the people that see the vision. You are the visionaries. So as we leave you on this, okay, what are you going to do? How are you going to change in 2022? Question
Yep.
mark?
How are you
That's
going
the
to
year?
change in 2022?
Right. And so when we put you time versus money, okay, and we know time versus money, money is infinite, time is not, and but you tell us you're afraid of money because money means you're successful because you won't have enough time. Have we changed this a little bit? Have we started chipping away at this again for you, that you realize that actually, in fact, if I grow a business, if I am successful, I can buy back my time. I can choose the things in my life I want to do and the things I don't want to do. Does that
And I can give myself more options so I can choose, because it gives me more options.
yeah. So I need to be the one. Debt is not an option. Debt is not an option for any of us. It's just scary. So
Mhm.
as we go into the next few weeks with you, all right. As we go into the next few weeks with you, go to theproductboss.com/best, sign up for the workshop series. The first one is on time, so it's getting your to-do list done. We're going to help you scale your handmade business in the next workshop. And then we're going to talk about the 80-20 rule for business owners, where you could make 80% of your revenue from 20% of your products. And then we're going to go right into Bestseller Secrets Challenge starting on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Hang out with us,
Mhm.
where we're going to help you figure out how your bestseller can generate this revenue, how you could be like Suzanne, where she could make smash cookies instead of all the fancy decorated cookies and go from 100,000 to 175,000 and have a goal of 350 without losing the time in her life, without losing the things that she wants to do. And then mid-February, multi-stream machine doors are opening again. So if you want to be like Suzanne,
Yay.
I want you to wrap your head around investing in yourself. I want you to
Mhm.
wrap your head around that money is replenishable. So if you finally stop, get off the treadmill, get off the stationary bike, stop with the 2-3 years doing the same thing because you are wasting time. Spend the money. Even if you have to put it on a credit card, you will pay it off. I'm telling you, we've seen it. This is just one example of all the people who are in MSM. Let us know your results, right? Like you will see, but you need to make a change. You need to invest in yourself. The money will get paid back. Your time will not. So don't do it on your own.
You have to
We've
do the
got the
work, though. This
steps.
is not by osmosis.
No, no,
So
no. Not at all. But we'll give you, Mina and I have worked. We have made millions of dollars. Like we have worked and we will give you the steps to take to save money and make money in your physical product-based business. We have it. We'll give it to you and you will have what Suzanne had and Laura had and Rachel had and all these other people that are doing multi-stream machine and have had made money and changed their lives. Yeah. Lynn says I paid for multi-stream machine in one sale.
Oh my gosh, Lynn.
I
That's
mean,
awesome.
Lynn,
No,
one
that's the
sale.
life. One sale.
And Three Best Bakeries, Suzanne, who we're talking about, out of the 10 modules we give you and all the gazillions of bonuses in there, one module changed everything. Rachel Dunn Jewelry, same thing. So this is not fake. We do not, but you are coming up with the reasons it's not going to work for you. Instead of looking at the reasons it will. Instead of saying, okay, everything else I've done is just wasting my time. And if I finally get off of the stationary bike, get on a bicycle, you will go up the hill. You will go somewhere. You will go further with us,
Mhm.
with this course, and with the community that comes with it.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. No. Let me think. Yes, we'll see
Yes?
you next week, plus in the workshops. The workshops are next week. So make
Next
sure you
Thursday.
sign up. Theproductboss.com/best.
See you, friends.